Hey everyone, welcome back. This is 3D6 down the line. Once again, we're playing our Dolmenwood campaign, episode 22. We're in the midst of the incandescent grottos at the moment. I am John, I am the referee.
I'm Mike. I play Alfric the Wizard.
I'm David. I play Brother Gwell.
I'm Ted, and I play Old Con 5.
Matt is unfortunately not here with us tonight, so he is, of course, dead to us. All right, so first thing I wanted to show off before we get going is something that popped up in the latest patron package that a lot of us have been waiting for. So let me just switch over to Owlbear here. So as you can see, we have a lovely, geographically accurate player map. So this is Dolmenwood in all of its glory. And zooming in here, you can see that we have hex locations and numbers and accurate distances and all that sort of jazz. So I overlaid a hex map on top of it so that if you can probably see here in the pre-war hex that if I measure, it's 6 miles hexes. Yay. So the party right now, appropriately enough, is right in Fog Lake, and I got a nice big Con 5 marker right there for everybody. Real easy to spot.
That's old, dude. That's cold.
Abusive.
That's the party right there. So yeah, of course, Murphy's Law says that of course this lovely map comes into play right when we're in the midst of a deep dark dungeon. So just wanted everyone to take a look at that. So this will be nice and easy for the players to be able to track from going on forward, and for everyone else out there to see. Distances measured and traveled, hexes explored, ley lines discovered, shrines discovered, all sorts of cool secrets uncovered, and be able to mark those accurately on the map. At least that's what I'm hoping the players will do. We'll see if they take me up on that. In the meantime, though, we go back.
Deep. There we go.
I have a quick question about the map.
Yes.
Which
Is
one?
all the green stuff trees?
Yes.
So it's like a wood?
It is. It's a wood with dolmens in it.
Full of dolmens? Oh,
Indeed.
that's weird.
All right. So last time we met our intrepid heroes, we were without Gwillem. Gwillem magically shows up, having made his way through to the rest of the group, hearing their screams, their off in the distance. What had occurred? You guys had backtracked and you had explored those alcoves that had like the broken debris in it, gone back through the rainbow room, and opened these double doors that led out into a large hallway that had a weird looking mural of the evolution of man, starting as a normal sentient human and then morphing slowly into a gelatinous ooze-like creature, which seemed to be, according to this artist's representation, the ultimate expression of man. But no sooner had they taken a look at it than vicious frogs leapt out of the chasm to the west and attacked them. But thanks to Alfred's quick thinking, put them all to sleep, and then subsequently to the sword.
Or the spear.
Yes. They had discovered 2 stairways down, both heading eastward. They noted them, but decided not to go down, and continued to go east down that northern corridor, where they had discovered what appeared to be large obsidian double doors that led to what they assume is somewhere quite grand. In this long chamber from north. Well, actually, I should probably point to it here. Get everyone located. We're talking about right here, where we're at. There's a long north to south corridor here that where there was, in the northern end, there were 3 statues of oozes. Each one was made out of a different rock, pink, green, and blue, going from west to east. The pink one was of dripping ooze. The center one was of mounded ooze. That was the green rock. And the east one was of tentacled ooze, which was blue. Penetrating cold was wafting off of those oozes towards you. But your attention was immediately focused on the corpse that was sprawled on the other end of the room, on the southern end in front of the double doors, which you quickly discovered after snagging the corpse and dragging it towards you was none other than Lady Bethmilda. Yes, the leader of the ducal knight contingent that had been sent to Prigwort to investigate the whereabouts of the rogue prismist. And she had left she had a silver necklace with a pearl in it, some adventuring gear, also had a bronze shield, some chainmail and a sword as well. And of note as well, you also found earlier in one of the frog's gullets a hand. And she was missing one of those hands.
Yeah.
And there was a ring on the hand or something, wasn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Platinum ring worth about 200 gold pieces. Chainmail, sword, shield, backpack, necklace. Pack containing 10 iron spikes, 50 feet of rope, 20 gold pieces. Sword is a hand and a half bastard sword.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So last thing we had agreed was we would carry the body out on the shield and get it out of the dungeon.
Well, that kind of gives us the perfect opportunity to go pick excuse me, pick up Gwillem.
Right. Right.
I'm getting
and,
over a cold. Excuse
and
me.
then Halifax can stay with the body and do all his like nightly vigil prayer stuff
Oh, yeah.
that none of us want to do. And then oh, I have an audience. And then okay. So we're gonna oh, this is crazy. So yeah, I say we go pick up Gwillem and leave Halifax with the body and so on.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so normally I would say that, I mean, you know, it's not as easy as like, okay, so we just go back out and everything just ties up neatly. That's not really the way it works. But in this case, maybe I will. All right.
Okay. Sorted that out. They're on camera again.
You can't give your wife the boot, man. It's her house, too.
As long as she signs the waiver.
That's right. No, you're fine now. You're fine. Okay, so yeah, we carry the body out. The bigger question, Golem, is that we determined, I believe, and I don't remember now how, that the silver with the necklace with the pearl we believe to be a magical.
Love
So
that.
yeah, it's a like protection of some kind. We don't really know what for sure, but we think it's magic, and we don't know.
You just
we haven't-
metagame that?
I don't remember, to be
Did
honest.
you buy a copy of the module and read it? Is that what's
No,
going on there?
no, I feel like we've worked it out somehow, or somebody put it on. And,
I'll tell you
and
what I was gonna say. I'll put it on.
protected. Like I think Matt.
We
worked
know
it
what
out.
it does. It's a +1 to magic saves.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
So who should wear it? Because we shouldn't be wasting this.
I think that should be on Ted, personally. I think our squishy frontliner probably needs it.
My magic save bonus is so bad that like it
Oh,
really.
well, yeah. What's everyone's magic save? That's a good,
good
very
question.
very good approach.
It's just
So-
it's whatever your wisdom bonus is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't a wisdom bonus.
Mine's like a -2 or a -3. So for me, it's just kind of a waste.
Oh, well, I mean, unless you miss your roll by 1.
True.
But how
But
about
then
you, Dave?
hilarity ensues and everything's okay.
Ah,
Yeah,
What do you-
I've only have a 10 wisdom, so I'm. Wait, I'm looking at Bregan. I was like, wait a second, that can't be possible.
it's like,
Here we go.
fire target.
Yeah.
You're the same kind of cleric as I am.
I was like, this is. I rolled a really terrible friar. I didn't remember this. Yeah, I have +1. So if it makes sense to neutralize your negative, Mike, that makes sense to me. Ted, what's yours?
I have no modifier for saves versus magic.
And it would put you at a +2.
+1.
Oh, +1. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think.
well-
Let's give it to Petals.
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
so
I'll wear it.
Mike.
We
Uh,
can read
Give it to me, and I will just wade into every magic scenario possible.
if,
Great.
well, hold on. Now, if you're backing out of the dungeon, are you moving quickly or slowly?
Slowly.
Slowly. If you
Always.
move slowly, back out the way you came, the shortest possible route, it's going to take. It's about 180 feet, which means it's going to take you about 3 turns. So, 3 turns if you're moving at 60, right?
We are not equipped with infinite oil, Mike.
I'm just
No,
letting you
we're
know.
using
So,
torches right now.
if it's 3 turns, you will exactly get out of the dungeon after your existing torch will burn out, like right when you get out.
Oh, that's right. We're running on torches, aren't we? Right. Now?
Right.
Yeah. So are you cool with
Okay.
that? You're just going to burn through a torch.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've still
the,
got.
the one that you still have lit. I mean, you don't have to mark one off now. You've already marked it, but that one's done. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I still have a couple.
All right.
and I
So
know Matt had some, and-
I'm not going to roll for random encounters, and just in order to speed things along. So I will say that you are able to make it safely back out of the caves. And I don't know if we ever rolled for weather.
yeah, it's raining.
Pouring rain. That's right. Thank you. I don't know why I didn't write that down. It's the 15th of Simswald. Yeah. Pouring rain. It is about 10 a.m. right now. As you come
Okay.
back out into the pouring rain.
Yeah.
Just want to remind everybody once again, my birthday is coming up on the 27th of Simswald.
Okay.
I expect a celebration.
You want a necklace?
He wants a
Maybe.
grimoire.
We want.
Yeah,
some
I want a
Okay.
grimoire. What's second?
I'll forage some lovely mushrooms for you to consume and go on a psychedelic journey for your birthday.
I mean, that's
How
cool
about
too.
How about that?
Okay, so when you make your way back up, you see huddled in the cold, you see Sprout, of course, and did I say the name wrong? Ethel.
Ethel.
Ethel, yeah, sorry. That was the mule in the other game.
Sprout, how dare you!
Yes.
Who
Sprout
have
is the
you
other
seen?
Sprout was the other beloved mule. Everyone ends up with a mule. Ethel.
Excuse me. Ethel.
This group's mule, Ethel.
Oh my god, I can't believe this.
Ethel, Gwillem, and Pim are all in the cave, huddled against the cold. And so you're going to drop Halifax off to guard with Pim, I suppose.
In the span of time between, well, in my absence, I had put my clothes out to sun and dry when we first delved.
Mhm.
And then I don't know what the weather has been between then and now. It's now raining again. Is it possible that those clothes dried and I can
Yes.
put them back on?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna put
No
clothes
longer
back
naked. That's
Yay.
yeah.
Your albino form is clothed.
Along with my other gear that was all waterlogged,
Right.
presumably is dry now, so that's good.
Okay.
Okay. So, in the meantime, so Argus is going to don the necklace. Gwillem, what spells have you prayed for today?
Light, protection from evil, silence.
Okay.
And just for flavor, let's say when you guys arrive, me and Pim are throwing my trinket dice.
All right.
Which are blackstone dice with white skull pips.
Oh, cool.
And I say, oh, that's good, that's good. If you'd gotten snake eyes, Pim, you don't know what Lord of Bones would want from you.
I don't have one on the tip of my list, but Pim gives you a witty retort, much unlike the old Pim, because Pim is feeling his oats since the last time he came out of the dungeon.
Yeah.
You notice a remarkable change in Pim, as he seems to have taken to the adventuring life quite well and shown a little bit more, what's the term? Vim.
Sort of metal. He's shown his
Metal,
metal.
yes, it's metal.
There you
Although,
go.
when it suggested, Pim, would you like to go down to the dungeon? Pim is quite fine with staying here in camp.
Nope. That's smart philosophy, Pim.
But
Keep going with that.
Bregan is more than willing to brave the dangers again with you.
I kind of want to give Bethmilda's hand and a half sword a swing in the heat of combat. So I'm going to leave my spear with Pim and strap on Bethmilda's sword
Okay.
and take that down next time. And we
Take the shield too.
I have a shield. I already have a
Yeah,
shield.
but she's got a cool bronze one that matches the armor. Just saying, we know your shield's not magic, but if you go use her shield, it might be magic.
Yeah, we just carried a corpse on it, but sure, why not? I'll take her shield too. Fine.
She was mostly dead.
All right, so
Mostly.
I don't think that Gwillem has actually met Lady Bethmilda before.
Ooh, yeah.
On the other hand, though, after your companions explain who she is, you do, of course, believe, it would be a standard reason that as a man of the cloth that you would think that the proper burial would be in order.
Yep.
Or I don't know if you guys want to do it here or what. But what do you do with Lady Bethmilda's body?
Matt had some particular notion about that, I think. So I'd say we punt that one to next time Matt's around.
Okay.
Assuming he doesn't remain dead to us. And I would say let's leave the body in that cave or the next cave over,
Mm-hmm.
and Halifax can worry about it.
Okay.
Different cave from the shapeshifter's tomb.
Right.
Yeah, we don't
Just pulling out bodies left and right.
That's another bookmark for another time because Pim's gonna stay for now. But it might be useful to us to get Pim to become a little Fifi. I don't know. Something to think about. I don't know.
Yeah. For those wondering, I'm just generally following. Once again, I forgot to look up the actual rule, but I vaguely recall in one version of old D&D that the moment that a 0-level hireling has any sort of adventure, like it basically comes out on the other side of a dungeon alive, they immediately level and become a first-level character. So I'm not sure if that bears out in the actual OSC rules, but that's what I'm going with. So Gwillem, as the person who hired Pim, has the say in what Pim becomes as a classed adventurer. So whatever David desires, we'll make him that way.
Anti-paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anti-paladin.
Make him a wizard.
I'm gonna make a cleric. Make him a cleric so both me and Pim can cast better than Mike.
Well, if he's a cleric, he wouldn't be able to, technically, just to be pedantic. But a friar.
But double friars.
Okay. All right, so it's 10 a.m. Are you going to go right back down into the dungeon?
Nope. Let's go. We're not here to relax. I only have one spell left, but I don't want to take 8 hours to sleep, relax.
Got it. Okay, so just before you go down, is there anything here in the camp that you're going to restock on before you go down?
How many torches do we got there, Titles?
Well, I have two more on me.
I have 3 more on me.
Okay. There is what?
What is our current rope situation?
I am not actually personally carrying rope.
Yeah.
But
I have a suspicion a rope might be beneficial to us.
That's true. Yeah. Well, there's rope on the mule.
So I know we used 150 tethered 3 times for the first river adventure.
Yeah, and then I put all that back, and I haven't been carrying it around.
That was partially mine.
Yeah.
So do we want to just get 150 feet of rope and carry it with us again?
Well, Halifax had 50 feet of rope. I can get rope off of Ethel. Did you have either of you guys have rope on you?
My 50 was part of that 150, but I can add 50.
I have 50 feet of rope too, but yeah, I think didn't we recover that rope, David? What are you talking about?
We did. I'm just saying.
So. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
So said he put it on Ethel rather than.
I put my rope back on Ethel.
I have my rope on me.
I see. My mistake. Sorry. I don't need to get us caught in the weeds here. I'm gonna have 50 feet of rope on me. Is all that matters. And we want to oil probably for lanterns.
Well, I don't have any oil. All the oil that I bought, we stupidly left on the wagon.
Oh, okay.
Just totally forgot about it. So we don't have any oil with us. We just have the torches that are on us.
No worries. That's fine.
So, but fine. I'll grab the rope. And anything else? There's cook pots and there's a shovel. I don't think we need any of that stuff right now. So, okay. If we're looking at the map, we go back down in the dungeon. We have some options. We can go through the curved door where I think the Droon guy went. There are 2 more doorways with stairs down. So there's 3 different options for going down to level 2.
Right.
We can try crossing the frog chasm. We can try the obsidian
There's somebody
door.
on the other side of that, though, right? Like there was somebody there, and they ran away, right?
Yeah. We think that we think that connects up with the tunnel in the very first grotto.
Yeah.
And I suspect whoever's over there is the same thing, and probably goblins.
You heard chewing over there. You heard something being eaten.
That's right.
One more question before we go in. Sorry to.
Yep.
Mike, you have light loaded up, right?
Yes.
Should I replace my light with detect magic or detect evil for any reason?
Or sleep or something else.
I don't have sleep. But I have silence already memorized. I have protection from evil memorized. I can do cure light wounds, but that's really quitter's talk. So I was wondering if detect magic felt prudent to you guys or not.
You know,
It's not quitter's talk,
having a healing spell would not be the worst thing in the world, there, brother Gwillem.
I don't know. I don't know about that. All right, I'll put in cure light wounds. So John, sorry, just a quick amendment.
It literally 22 games in, and he put his first cure light wound spell on his character.
Listen, I intend to promptly take it off, and I take this as a deep betrayal of my my vows.
Then don't do it, man. Don't do it. You're the priest. Pray for the spells you want.
There are other ways in this setting, as we discussed. There's lots of herbs and stuff like that that can.
Yeah, we've got potions with us.
Keep your spells. But of course, you have to have them. I don't know if you've got them, but I don't think you do.
Well, I was just being a smartass, guys. It's not a big deal to me.
I
just thought a detect magic. I haven't used it yet, but it seems like it might be useful in some of these weird and wacky rooms. But who knows?
Maybe. I do have.
No, I'm not gonna do it. All right, cure light wounds. Okay, continuing. Sorry.
Cure light wounds. Okay.
So, obsidian door, frog chasm, extra hallway in the first grotto, or one of the staircases. Anybody have a preference?
I mean, Death struck down that really powerful fighter from those double doors, right? Like, I don't know if I'm feeling that, but maybe. I kind of feel like we should finish this level before we go down.
So we're gonna go over the frog chasm.
No, I don't want to do the frog chasm. I want to go to the double doors right by the body.
Great, that's what I wanted to do as well. So let's double door.
You can always fall back on, like, it's not a video game, right? It's not about clearing the space. It's about, your objectives. Like, what do you intend to do down here? What's your goal? So you just go back on that.
Lots of loot.
This to me means that John is trying to get us not to go through that room because that's where the treasure is.
No, I'm just saying, it's like, if your goal is treasure, if you care more about the treasure than you care about the rogue prismist, then exploration of the first floor is of course paramount, right? If you want to get every last gold piece, then sure.
Yeah, the only thing across the frog chasm within that would make sense is that it may link up with that other tunnel from the pond in the first chamber. But
right.
Neither here nor there,
I say we double door.
Double door.
Right.
Talk.
Door.
Action.
Okay, so you march back out into the pouring rain, hop over to the winding staircase again, and you head back down into the grotto themselves. The sprites' bodies are still there. Everything is deathly quiet.
Furthermore, I contend, guys, we light the torch and we do not creep and crawl back to the double doors. So let's just go.
Yeah, let's book it.
Okay, so who's carrying the torch?
I'll carry the torch.
Okay, Gwillem has a torch. I've got my so I'm wearing Bethmilda's shield and carrying her sword.
Okay, very good.
Which hopefully are not cursed.
Right.
Summoning shield or something.
Ted, maybe you can tell me this as more of an expert. You have a sword, right? Like a normal sword? You did?
I did not. I only had a spear and a mace that I picked up in...
Okay, so you're going to take all of the gear then that comes along with that sword, then, I assume, in order to sheath it. Otherwise, you're going to have to carry it over your shoulder.
Yeah, that belt and the scabbard, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. All right, so Gwillem, I need... whoever's torch that was, that needs to be marked off.
Oh, yeah, new torch. I'll mark it off mine.
Okay, yeah, whatever works.
All right. Torchlight. And down we go. And you're going to move as quickly as you possibly can through these rooms. Very, very quiet. Moving quickly, it's going to take you, rounding up, it's going to be about 2 turns to get back to where you were before.
Okay.
One moment, please.
And if memory serves, we had grapple hooked Bethmilda's body. We have not actually been up to the doors. So a little caution there will be on. I think once we get to that room, John, then we stop moving quickly.
Right, understood. Yeah. So you're going through all of like the basically well, you're going through the skull room and the eye statue room and back through the rainbow room with the rainbow
Correct.
mold and all that sort of stuff, directly through those double doors.
Yep. Into the frog mural room,
Right.
or the ooze mural room rather, where we killed the frogs.
Yes. Now, as you enter through that second set of double doors that leads out into the very wide, tall corridor that heads east to west,
Right.
you're moving as quickly as you possibly can to get to those double doors. But when when your torch moves around to the east, you can see that there is what appears to be two giant rats that are basically appeared to be like snuffling around on the ground where you had dragged with the you had been carrying, basically right down the middle of the corridor where you had been carrying Bethmilda's corpse back the way that you came. And as you sort of see them, they're like much larger than normal rats, right? Then they look up at you and they're like squeak in alarm. One is going to attempt to get by you or attack you. You're not really sure which. It like bolts towards you. You're not surprised. The other one appears to want to go in the other direction, but as it does so, out of the shadows from around the corner in the oblong chamber that runs north to south beyond you, you see a writhing mass of tentacles suddenly reach out and grab the rat and basically yank it around the corner. And it the rat obviously squeals in pain and fright. And you see a bulging head emerge from around the corner with large compound eyes, which the tentacles are emerging from its mouth-like orifice, and then slowly pulling its weight forward on multiple legs in segmented form, is what can only be described as a carrion crawler. As it quickly paralyzes the rat, its squeals go suddenly silent as it starts to devour it, in the same exact sounds as you heard from coming across the chasm the other day. So this other rat is running straight towards you.
I'm getting out of the way. Let him go, baby.
John, can you use your little laser pointer there and show on the map right where we are and right where that?
You guys are right here.
Okay, good.
All right. I'll say you're all have emerged into the corridor, right? You saw the two rats were like right here.
Okay.
All right. Now one is like going like that.
Yep.
And then there was like this crawler that kind of came right around here.
Okay.
I would like to get out of the way of the rat and see where it runs. If there's any hovel or tunnel or thing that we may have not noticed before that I just.
All right. So none of you guys are going to interrupt the giant rat that's coming right towards you.
I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm going to shout eek and I'm going to jump up on the mural.
So it beats at and it shuttles right past you, and Bregan also. Don't forget Bregan's with you, and is under your control, David. Shuttles past you really quickly, and then you can see it just goes right over the lip of that chasm, but doesn't like jump. It sort of like goes down.
We hear splash, anything like that.
Yes, I suppose you would. Yeah.
There's not a tunnel halfway down. I was like, ooh, another secret.
They have looked down that. They do know what's down there.
You do know what's on the walls.
They know what's down the chasm.
Yeah, it's just straight down. There's a river at the bottom. We're pretty sure it's the one you were in before, based on the map. My map is not perfect, but
we saw the stretch of beach that David and I saw before.
That's right.
The stretch of beach was right there.
Oh, right there. We could rappel down there. What do we do?
We could, yeah. But as you recall, there was some badnesses down there, so I don't think we want to do that.
Sure.
Okay, carrion crawler, much more important, coming towards us, right?
Yeah. Well, it's basically it has lunged out and grabbed that rat and has paralyzed it and is devouring it. But its form has emerged so that it's sort of right here, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you guys think?
And it's a pretty bad scene. Like it's definitely like blocking the way. And it's munching on this rat, and its tentacles are sort of writhing and feeling the air in front of it.
I mean, dude, they paralyze people.
I'm kind of inclined to just close this door and take up knitting.
Can we bait it into the river? You think?
I mean, We think it kind of came from that direction, right? This is the same sound we heard before.
You heard that.
Yes.
You heard the devouring sound from the other side of the chasm, correct?
Yeah.
There's either two, or
or
it's just very mobile.
Yeah. So I don't think luring it into the river is going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we
So-
try to torch it with fire?
Its mouth lifts off the body of the rat, and you can see sort of like a circular lamprey, like radial sort of mouth, in the midst of all these writhing tentacles, and the tentacles are like feeling the air, and then they sort of all kind of go rigid as they sort of sense you.
Does it have eyes?
Yeah, it has big compound eyes on either side of its head, and it like half of its body sort of rears up like a viper, you know, with all of its like clacky little legs on either side, you know, like clack, like that, and then it pounds down and actually shakes the ground a little bit, and when it comes down, it looks like it's going to make right towards you.
Cool, love that.
Okay.
I'm moving through the double doors.
Yeah, actually, if we could get it into that little 5-foot corridor there, we could possibly take it.
I definitely think we should use our best funneling. So
Yeah. So John, let's say we're going to kind of array ourselves. Oop, that is not doing what I wanted it to do. Hold on.
You're just saying right here. How do I ping? Hold on.
I
Another
thought I was.
I'm used to roll 20. Let's see.
John, I'm moving through the double doors.
Yeah, I'm saying what we want to do is be like here, here, and here.
Yeah,
I don't-
the three squares.
Yeah, there's
I see
there's no reason for like super nitty gritty tactical stuff. Just you know, you can.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna move back through the double doors and try to set yourself up on the other side in that larger room.
Or just shut them behind us.
Well, I think we should try and kill it.
You have the
Why?
time. You do have the time now. You're not in initiative yet, but if you take too much more time deciding, if you guys want to instinctively move back through the doors and slam them, you do have the time to do that.
I say do that, dude. There's no point in fighting it. You don't get XP for it.
You get XP, just not a lot.
Well, I mean, I'm a fighter. I want to fight something. I've
Okay.
like, but no, you're right.
Fight it. Let's fight it. Come on.
No, Mike's right.
You've done very well by avoiding fights so far.
Yeah. You're right. Okay, we back through the doors. We slam them shut. This corridor is dead to us now.
Okay, so when you shut the doors, well, you go all the way back out into the main room.
Into the rainbow room, yeah.
Okay,
Shut
cool.
both sets of doors, I think.
All right, then you hear nothing.
Although I think we should wait here for a minute and see if it's going to come busting through.
Right.
All right, a turn goes by as you wait.
And it didn't come busting through.
Nothing comes through.
Then I think it's not going to come through. Okay, so stairs down,
Yeah.
stairs down, or corridor over by the lake there, pond.
Stairs
Pond.
down.
Still lake quarter. Oh, okay, sure.
All right, stairs down. North.
The lake corridor just takes us right back to the carrying collar. Best case scenario.
There could be a lot of cool stuff over there, but not
could be.
purpose and not a grimoire probably. So you want to, since we're right here, I don't know if you want to use that northernmost set of stairs, the most recent one we found at the north end of the alcoves.
Yeah, isn't that the one that
Cold air, I think.
yeah, but isn't that the one the bad guy went down on light?
No, he was further, most southmost one. He went down
Let's go down that one.
because it's extra walking. Like we're right here. We're like 20 feet away.
fine. Oh my god, it's so lazy.
Jeez.
What you want to know where Unlight went? You heard the sounds of his goblins and stuff like that coming from on this level, all the way south beyond that door that was broken off of its hinges.
It's the carved door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off the nose room, right?
I'm just saying you have no indication that Hecator has gone down below. If that's what you're basing your decision on, I just want to make that clear.
Right, but we haven't seen him anywhere else. We think he's on the lower level. Oh no, there are some other corridors down there. That's right.
So first, if you guys, if you
I
want
think we
to,
should just do process of elimination, guys.
if you want to ping and you want to point out things to other people, it's the little teardrop on the right hand side.
There, okay.
So a little
this-
teardrop on the.
There you go.
So this is where we saw him and their quarters in the carved door,
Oh,
showing
okay.
all sort of
Right.
terrible things happening. Is this the
And there's
stairwell you're
something
talking
here.
about up here? Is that what
Okay.
you're talking about?
So
Here, the alcoves?
this is what I'm proposing we go down. Yes. However, I had forgotten that there are actually, you can see 1, 2, 3 things down here. One of them is a staircase and a carved door. We have not explored the other 2. But I was advocating if we're not going to do.
Let's
So-
do this. Let's closer.
This
Let's go to the
Yeah,
closest
exactly.
stairwell.
Let's go to
Let's
that.
just do it.
Great. I love it.
All right. I trot on over to the stairwell and I hold the torch into its causeway
Yes.
and listen to the groan of the cave below. Is there anything loud and intimidating down there, John?
One moment.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so first of all, when you enter this this long corridor, just to remind you guys that there's a strange and unnatural sense of cold in this along this entire stretch of corridor, heading north to
Right.
south, which are lined with these alcoves with the smashed bone and twisted wooden fragments. Unknown source of where this cold is coming from. Now, similar to the staircase down below, the archway that frames this staircase is curved and it's rimmed with green tiles. Okay, and it has a curved roof that basically houses the entire staircase as it goes downwards, and that roof itself is made out of black tile. This is in comparison to where you're actually standing, which is dark stone blocks, right? Which is seems to be what most of the time, whenever you're in a man-made part of the dungeon, that it seems to be made out of. So this appears to be more important, or some sort of design aesthetic was put here. You remember that this is also the same sort of archway that the other staircase down to the south also had.
Right.
Okay, so
Cool.
down below.
And I don't know if you guys can see on the map here.
Yeah, you're on the right.
I don't have another level map, so I'm
Well,
just starting off.
I do, so I will give it to you in just a moment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
Cool.
checking ahead what's coming on here. So give me a moment, and I'll switch you over.
I will ping you in the correct square when we go down. Oh, no, I won't.
All right. So now
Can you suggest where I should start this, John?
I am. Yeah. One moment.
Articulating splines.
So you want to sort of be in the middle-ish, in the middle of,
Start right here.
yeah, exactly. A little bit further east, maybe.
Okay.
Oh. A little bit further east.
Go one here or one here.
Let's go.
Okay.
Pick one.
Okay. So there is the stairway goes down 10 feet basically before it levels out onto the ground here. Now down here, as your torchlight illuminates forward eastward down a long corridor lined with doors on either side. 1, 2, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so the corridor is about 5 feet wide and goes at least to the edge of your torchlight, so at least 30 feet before it dwindles off into darkness. All right.
Is that too far? That's too far.
So it's 10 feet of staircase, and then at that point, there's at least 30 feet. Okay.
Oh, 30 feet. Okay.
There is the it's made out of crumbling sandstone blocks here, so it's different sorts of stone here. Okay.
Okay.
The ceiling is only about 7 feet high, so it's much more, a little bit more claustrophobic than from where you were before. So only right above most of your guys' heads. And there's debris strewn all along the corridor. Okay, like lots of different sort of stuff that you can't quite make out right where you are. Without further, kind of checking things out.
Yep.
There are doors directly, like right where you're standing, to the north and south, like on either side, to your left and right.
Right at the base of the stairs.
And they are slightly ajar, and they are made out of like worm-eaten wood, like they're like heavily rotted wood, and they're hanging from creaky hinges, right? Like just.
Okay.
And they're both like slightly ajar, and then down the corridor you can see that after, like if you skip 5 feet, then there's another door to the left that's also on its hinges, and then another interval of 5 feet, and then there's another door on the left.
But no on the right.
There is one door on the right. It is 15 feet beyond the first door on the right. That one appears to be made out of a different sort of wood, dark and solid, and there are iron bands across it, and it appears to be like in its jam fully.
Very stout.
Very
Since
stout.
we're right at the base of the stairs, I want to listen at the doors to the right and the left of us.
Yep.
I think everyone else should try and do that too. Also, John, what are the conditions of the floors?
The floors are solid. It's sandstone, but like I said, there's debris all along. Do you kind of want to look a little bit closer at the debris?
I'd like to.
Do you? Yeah.
Okay, so before you listen at the door, you kind of use Glim's torch to kind of look ahead. There looks to be like chunks of what appears to be like sandstone, as if it's fallen from the ceiling. There are definitely are like human or humanoid bones scattered throughout. Shredded grayish cloth, like just random patches of gray cloth. And there does appear to be probably about 10 feet ahead near the second door on the left, there appears to be like a leather pouch, which is sort of splayed open, but there's nothing that's sort of out. Nothing that's like, no coins like scattered out of it or anything like that, but a leather pouch.
Right. Before we go down the corridor, though, now I want to listen at the doors.
Okay, so to the north, so the doors are both ajar. So do you want to peek around, or you just want to be really extra cautious and not even look?
I want to listen first and see if I hear any panting, grunting,
Sure.
chewing.
Yep. Nothing to the north. To the south, you also hear nothing.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick my torch in the northern door and sort of see if I see.
I was going to push it open with my staff.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll push it open with my staff very gently.
So inside, you see that there is a 10-foot north to south chamber, only 5 feet wide. Okay. There has made out of crumbling sandstone blocks, once again 7 feet high. Rubble throughout the entire thing. Piles of like sandstone blocks inside. The floor itself is buckled. Like there's like slabs have actually been like cracked by the rubble itself. And there is a stone coffer that dominates the center of the room. It's been tipped on its side, like, and its lid has actually fallen off as a result. Now you're standing in the doorway. You have not entered the room.
Nothing visible in the coffer.
You do see. Okay, I will say this. You can see barely. You see a skeletal hand like splayed out.
The hand of Vecna, no doubt.
Like it looks like
So
it's like
you-
attached to like an arm, but you know what I mean? Like it looks like it's part of like something larger that's inside the coffer, but it's like its hand has been splayed out on the side.
I want to look at the ceiling. You said that it seemed like the sandstone was falling from the ceiling. Can
Yeah.
I tap the ceiling with my staff kind of gently and see if anything crumbles?
Yeah, you certainly can. The ceiling in this room, right?
The ceiling in the hallway first.
Okay, the
So
ceiling in the
there's-
hallway. When you tap it in the hallway, like little pieces like fall, but it doesn't look to be unduly safe. But yeah, like some debris actually falls down. Yeah.
So the one in the room, though, I'll do that one too.
Okay, when you do that one, tap tap tap, you hear like a, and you see like a couple like little pieces start to fall, and you just instinctively know that shit's about to go down like within seconds as you see like cracks and you hear cracking from under the ceiling.
So
Sorry.
I run out of the room.
Yeah. Big, like the ceiling basically collapses in that room. And a huge, big billowing amount of like sand, like dust, like comes out into the
All right.
hallway.
All right, we'll put an X in there. Okay. South room.
If there's any
And the
movement
coffer
on
is-
that skeleton, it is no longer accessible.
Yeah, the coffer is not accessible anymore.
No. Well, unless you dig out the rubble.
Okay. What about the southern room?
Okay, a turn goes by. 1 second, sorry. All right, the southern room. Looking around in the corner there, once again, there's crumbling sandstone blocks in here, but the big difference here is that unlike the corridor and in the northern corridor, this room is extremely clean, like very clean, no debris at all. And directly in the center of the room is a stone coffer. Looks exactly the same as the one to the north, but this one is perfect. Like lid on top, looks like it was just set there the other day.
Same, it's a mirror room.
Same.
You know what cleans
Same
dungeon
dimensions,
hallways really well, right?
Yeah.
A slightly gelatinous treat.
Yeah.
It's directly in the center of the room, so it basically dominates the room. Yeah, Ted, you basically got it.
Okay.
John, I want to pick up a piece of sandstone rubble from the floor and throw it at the coffer.
Throw it at the coffer. All right. Skitters over the top.
Oh, okay. It doesn't get stuck in a big, giant, invisible gelatinous cube.
Would that be the normal thing?
Yeah.
You're like, why did physics work in this room? This is strange.
What does the ceiling look like in this room, John?
It is the same. So sandstone blocks, but they appear to be, well. Well, that's not true. They're actually like they're crumbling. Like there's cracks and stuff like that. It doesn't look too safe. Looks about the same as the corridor does. Not as like fragile as the northern chamber, but
Gotcha.
yeah. But however,
This coffer is closed?
strangely enough, even though that there is evidence of erosion and problems and stability within the walls in the ceiling themselves, there is no evidence of any crumbled debris in the room.
Yeah.
The floors are completely clean.
Okay, so theory, floor has some kind of like it drops away and all the debris goes into the pit trap underneath.
Yeah, why don't you tap on a couple tiles of that floor with your staff?
I'll tap, tap, tap with my staff.
On the floor?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tap, tap, tap goes the trolley.
Okay, yeah. Nothing. Just echoes.
Yeah.
Doesn't even echo. It's a small chamber.
Do you want to tie a rope around one of us and we can...
Yeah.
Throw a rope around my waist. Y'all hold on to it.
No, you've got the
Torch. Okay, fair.
torch and the spell.
Let's send the wizard in.
Fuck you.
What does what does Bregan have in her hands, Willem?
Bregan at the moment, I think, should have
Martini. And a little glass of olive.
She's that kind of lady.
I think I would like Bregan to have shortbow trained eastward down the hallway
Yeah, that's good.
on the ready.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Just wanted to know.
Report.
No reason.
Tie the rope.
Give me the torch and you go in.
Well, question for that
I'll
reason.
go.
Question along those lines, though. If I were to go into this room, Bregan would no longer be able to see in the hallway. So
I'll go in.
I think the torchbearer should stay in the hall. Yeah.
Stay where you are. Tie the rope around my waist. I'll go check it.
All right. So Argus, you have
Tie the rope around his waist.
torch in one hand, shield in the other. Argus,
No, I'm counting on the torch being held
over your
in
shoulder.
the corridor directly behind me.
Understood.
Like,
I'm
Yeah,
holding
I'll
the
lean my staff against the wall and hold the torch.
Got
That's
it.
fine.
No problem.
Okay, wait. So I'm holding the rope then,
Yeah.
and you're holding the torch. Okay.
you are actually stronger than the wizard, I think, right?
Yeah, I have 13 strength, so I'll hold the rope.
Right.
Get ready to yank you.
Okay.
All
All right.
Cool. All right. So you carefully make your way into the room. Nothing happens when you set foot on the first clean step.
Shuffle in.
It's a little bit of a temperature dip when you get in here. A little bit colder than normal, but not that weird penetrating cold that you felt. Really.
I'll slide forward up to the coffer and kind of look around it.
Okay.
What's behind it, what's underneath it. If I don't know if it's got feet or if it's flat on the bottom or whatever.
So
Does it smell like ammonia in there?
there's no feet, so it appears to be flush against the ground, but it is
When
not
you say
like
coffer, do you mean like a little thing or like a sarcophagus?
a sarcophagus.
Okay.
Yeah. But not in the ornate fashion that usually conjures in your mind when you see a sarcophagus. So this is a completely unmarked stone block. It's basically like a rectangle,
Like The
unmarked.
box that is around the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes, that's a good. Yep, exactly. Yep. So there you can see like a fine seam that demarcates the lid from the body itself. But other than that, there is no other markings on the coffer itself. Perfect stone,
Okay.
expertly cut, but zero ornate.
Yep. And so nothing around it. on the floor, on nothing sitting on top.
Nothing
no
at
carvings.
all. Yeah, I mean, there's like nothing in the room. It's the strangest thing because
Argus.
it's like a clean room almost, right?
Yeah.
Argus.
Yeah.
Crazy thought.
Oh yeah.
You have a water skin. You're worried about a floor trap. If you poured some water on the ground and it seeped through, you might have an answer. Is that a crazy idea?
I'll pour some water on the floor and over the top of the thing and just kind of around to sort of see if it, like in the Great Escape where they find the tunnel. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do a little German Great Escape tunnel discovery.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I get it. Unfortunately, it does not appear to yield any secrets.
Interesting. All right.
Okay. So if I put my shoulder against the corner of the lid and I don't want to push it off. I want to just rotate it. You know what I mean?
Don't want to push it. You might just move it like on a horizontal plane.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
Shift like a little corner. You know.
It's shifted enough
Okay.
that the gasp of fog comes out and the hand leaps out, that kind of thing, you know.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're going to use all your strength to kind of push it a little bit.
All of my meager strength, yes.
Okay. Okay. And you can hear stone grinding against stone as you push, and you're like,
Yep.
and a corner kind of moves up. You do, like it is almost exactly as you said, Ted Argus, as you long stale stale air from like centuries like escapes out like a poof, followed immediately by an emaciated bandage wrapped hand. It's like on one side of the one lip of the coffer, and you hear like a deep within that sounds deeper than the actual dimensions of the coffer itself, deeper than the abyss. You hear like a low like moan, like oh, from underneath. You see and a green malevolent light is infused from deep within that darkness in that little 6-inch square hole that you've created from.
Never mind. Go back to sleep. Sorry.
Or stick your sword in there and jab a bunch.
Yep, you have 3 seconds to do something, otherwise roll for initiative.
Yeah, actually, I like that idea. I'm like, bring that torch here, and I'm going to stab my sword into the hole.
Okay, sweet.
Stab your sword in the hole.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll run in and I'll stand on top of the
The sarcophagus?
sarcophagus to weigh it down, weigh the top down.
Well,
That's
okay,
a
but
great
the knee-jerk reaction here is that Argus is going to jab.
Sure. That's
Jab
my
this,
plan.
jab the
I'll
sword
say
in.
it.
Yeah.
I'll say it, yeah.
So basically, he's going to get this first before initiative is rolled, and you guys can make your plans. Argus, so you're going to jab blindly into the hole. So you can attack normally, but attack with a -4, please.
Stir it up with a martini, man.
That's a miss. I rolled an 8 for those of you listening but not watching.
Good plan. Thank you for saying that. And and you jab down into the thing, and it scrapes against stone, and the light gets a little bit brighter. And without your pushing, the lid starts to move even further and further wide. Spell casting. Anyone casting spells?
I mean, I can do the classic.
I don't think this is a spell round. I don't think you've got anything that can... Well, does Cure Light Wounds affect mummies? I don't know.
That's a great question. Does it damage? Inflicts 1d6 plus 1 damage to a touched creature if it's reversed, but that's just cost light ones. Is there any...
Don't you have to memorize it reversed?
You have to memorize
Well,
reverse, yes.
That's something different entirely than what Ted's asking. I think Ted's
I'm
just
asking
asking
if-
if healing magic damages the undead.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything indicating.
It would say in each individual spell, so if a Cure Light Wounds doesn't say it, it doesn't do it.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I don't think we should be casting spells on this. I think we should be hitting it with fire.
Yeah.
All right, so no spell casting? All right, roll me a d6, please.
I'll do it.
I got a 6. Suck it.
Fudge. Well, I got half of that.
What'd you get? A 3?
I rolled a 3.
Okay, so you guys have to let me know what your general plan is, then I get to react to it first. What are you going to attempt to do this by the end of the round?
I'm going to run in and shove that torch in its face, try to burn those bandages.
Okay.
And I'm going to defend him and try and prevent this thing from fully getting out, I guess. Yeah. So
Okay.
hacking its arms off.
Alfred?
I mean, I don't have a lot I can do. I guess I'm gonna get ready to hit it with my rhythm stick. Donk.
Are you
Maybe
gonna
should
are
tell-
you gonna move up and hit it?
No, I'm gonna stay in the doorway.
Stay in the doorway.
Yeah.
Bregan, what are you gonna do? Gwillem.
That's you, Dave. David.
Sorry, I was looking at Turn Undead because I don't remember when the Friar gets access to it.
You have access to it.
Reagan has
Yeah.
their bow, and I don't think the bow is particularly useful in this scenario. So I'm gonna suggest Reagan switch over to their spear.
Okay. So Argus is the one that's directly in front.
Yep.
So basically what happens is then it gets initiative with blazing speed and terrifying strength. The lid is blown off as if by a gigantic, like, divine hand, just woof, and it bursts against the wall and explodes against the wall. Boom! And scatters into 1,000 tiny stone chunks. Dust explodes everywhere. Then, basically, like a wooden slab, this mummified corpse just goes like straight up out of the tomb. It is completely bandage wrapped, emaciated with dry parchment-like skin, and you can see that it's basically has like bandages around its head and around its jaw, but its face is basically uncovered, and it's like a gaunt, noseless horror, basically. And the pits of its eyes, which are like underneath its shelf-like brow, are just like malevolent green glowing eyes as it reaches out with tattered bandages and basically attempts with both of its long clawed bandage wrapped fingers to throttle Argus around the neck. So good.
I intend to vigorously resist this.
I assume you probably would. All right, your AC, Argus, please.
I cower behind my shield.
I bet you do. What's your AC with your shield?
19.
19. That is very good.
Yeah.
Oh, it was hanging there on 17, but no. All right, so it lunges out for you with its claws, but you quickly duck behind your shield, and you can hear the scraping of the claws against Lady Bethmilda's bronze shield, right. And you hear like the low moan burst forth across the room and out into the hall. And yes, okay, all right. So yeah, so it's basically just right there. So now it's your guys' turn. So what order would you like to go in? What would you like to do?
Well, I think if what makes sense is if I'm right there, I hit it with a sword, at which point then David runs in with his torch and sticks it into the thing's face.
By the way, I forgot that Mike said he has the torch.
Yep.
Mike is holding the torch and I'm holding the rope. So I'm not running.
Oh, well, you can grab a torch as you run past him.
Or I can grab it from Mike if Mike doesn't want to do it. Yeah.
That's
I'm just letting you know.
Okay, Mike's got the torch.
Who's got the oil? Who's got oil?
No one has oil. That's Matt Halifax had oil. It's his lantern. No one has oil. We have a torch. I'm gonna hit it with a sword, John.
All right, go for it.
Or not. I rolled a 4, everybody. Just gets better and better.
Do you have what? So I can see like what would your end result be with that? Do you get any
4.
pluses? 4. Okay, just want to check.
No modifiers, unless this is a magic sword I didn't know about.
No, it does not appear to be.
Damn. I get rid of it. I don't want it anymore.
Screw this. All right. Yeah. So you back off and swing wildly from behind your shield, but
Yeah.
you're not able to find any purchase against it.
Nope. So now somebody needs to light it on fire. Mike.
Oh my god.
Or hand the sword to Quill.
Are you not going to turn it?
I was gonna reserve the turn for a desperate situation. But
I think
Is there a limit on how many times you can turn, or is it? I don't
Yeah.
think there is.
My house rule. It's basically like once an encounter.
Oh.
Is the way I basically do it. Technically, you can keep spamming it, but in my other game where I was doing that got abused real quick, and I was like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'll attempt to turn the undead while you attempt to torch it. This will be my first attempt, so...
Oh,
Roll
snap.
2d6.
2d6. Man.
I guess it all depends on how many hit
9.
points this thing has. Oh, that's a pretty good roll.
A 9
my
total?
Character level is 3, which means sure if I understand this chart. Sorry.
So you're gonna basically what you're doing is you're rolling 2d6, and that determines the number of hit dice that are affected.
So I rolled a 9.
I thought the first roll was to see if the hit die.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
Roll against the hit dice of the.
I've
Right.
never played a cleric.
Yeah.
Which is shocking, I know, but this is.
All right. So basically,
my first turn undead of all time.
and folks out there as well, if you're actually looking at the chart here, this is the way that it works. Gwendolyn is level 3. So it basically means that if you look across the chart at level 3, the maximum hit dice of undead that he can affect, period, even if he's successful, is a 4 hit die undead creature, right?
Right.
In order to affect that level, that strength of undead, he has to roll 11 on his turning check.
Right.
Compare the roll against. Okay, so actually now I'm confused. I had this in my head and then I forgot. I know that it does make sense.
Right. What you were describing sounded right to me, John.
So
Yeah.
the 2d6 turning roll is higher or equal to the target number the attempt succeeds. What is the hit dice level of the monster, John?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that.
Oh,
Right.
Okay, well, I rolled a 9, so if it's an hit dice 1 or 2, it's turned. If it's a hit
Right.
dice 3, I have to get a 9 to succeed, which I would have. If it's a hit dice 4, I would have had to hit 11. I would have failed.
Right,
So
got
if
it.
it's more than a hit
Yep.
dice 3, I failed. If it is a hit dice 3 or lower, I succeeded.
Right, and then if you succeeded, there's another 2d6 roll. All right, so you hold forth your holy symbol, tell it to get back, but unfortunately, it just stares balefully at you.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I had a feeling.
All right. Mike? Torch it, Mike.
No
Get in
way,
here.
dude. Nope, not
Are you-
gonna do it.
Are you doing anything,
Oh.
Alfric? I just want to move things along. So, are you doing anything, Alfric?
Sorry,
Or...
I'm thinking, dude. I'm thinking. It's very dangerous. All right,
Okay.
I'll go try and light it up with a torch. God damn it.
Yay! Light it with the torch.
You shut up.
Get him, Ray.
Get her, Ray.
Well, at least I rolled a 16, Mr. Fighter.
Oh. All right. So
You brought the firepower.
you were already holding the torch, right?
Yeah.
he was.
Okay, cool. So you're no problem. You're able to just and you toss it right at it, and it hits it directly. Let's see. Give me just a second here. Just checking. Boom,
Alan
boom.
was the bully of the Wizards Academy. Was
He really kind of is. He's definitely.
Yeah.
I'm like the nicest guy. And
Yeah,
he's
totally.
mean.
Give me 1 second. Just checking a chart here. Excuse me. Pardon me.
I have a contingency thought,
Okay.
which I guess we can meta now. Doesn't really matter.
You know,
If she goes up, and there's if another one of the northward doors is a crumbled room, we could try to crumble a ceiling on this guy.
well, I'm wondering if we should even crumble this ceiling on it.
You can't. Well, maybe you
It
can.
didn't
Maybe
seem like
feeling
you
was in
could.
better condition.
I suspect that the northern ones, or at least one of the other corridors, will be similarly beat up. I could be wrong.
There's no way we're going to get it into that room, though.
Chases after us, and we go into the room, and then we Benny Hill out. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't like
If
it.
there's- if we can't kill it. We
This is
gotta get
bad.
creatives.
Okay.
Like
So you throw the torch, and it definitely the thing lights up as all that dry wrapping and dry skin is quite flammable. So go ahead and roll for damage there, Mike.
What am I rolling for this, John?
You're a wizard, so D4.
Oh. Got
You're
it.
a wizard, Harry.
Hey, a 4.
Nice. Okay.
I should have
Does
thrown
it
that.
ignite?
Huh?
Does it ignite?
Yes, it does ignite. It goes up like a torch.
Let's
Smoke.
back out of the door and close it.
Smoke. Putrid smoke quickly starts to fill the air in this small chamber.
Right on.
That was all.
He's back in Wizards Academy.
Does Bregan do anything?
Regan has gotten her spear out, and I think Bregan is going to wait
Okay.
defensively at the door.
Next round. Any spells being cast?
No.
No.
Roll for initiative. I got a 2.
6. Eat it, you flaming thing.
I'm gonna
Okay.
grab the rope
Hold-
and pull
hold-
Argus as
hold.
hard as I can.
Hold on. I have to telegraph what I plan to do so that you can react to what I'm going to do. See.
Yep.
Got excited.
So, let's see. I've got Argus right in front of me.
Yep. Good old beat a hasty retreat, Argus, you mean?
I think though that it's going to attempt to barrel through Argus and going to attempt to it's basically like breathed in flame, right? So it's going to like plow forward out of the coffer, run over Argus, and is going to attempt to attack Gwillem, since that's where the divine might was kind of being stemmed from. So it's going to basically kind of brush past Argus and into Gwillem. All right, so now you guys can go ahead and do what you want to do.
So you
So-
said I cannot attempt to turn again, correct?
Not this encounter,
Right.
unfortunately, no.
Right. So basically what you're saying is that, like, at the moment that this phase starts, it appears to be climbing out rather than trying to grapple me. So
Correct.
I could say, for example, back up and start hitting the ceiling with the sword as I'm going out.
Yes, you
and
could.
seeing if that.
Yeah, because you have initiative. You can see what he's going to attempt to do, so you can react first. Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly backpedal
Yeah.
and start stabbing the ceiling with the sword, hoping to dislodge rubble.
Okay. Cool. It definitely starts to do that. Like it starts to, it doesn't seem to be quite as responsive as Elfric in the other room,
Yeah. Figures.
but it does.
All right.
It is definitely starting to crumble.
But I'm gonna back up out the door.
Okay. Cool. Fighting retreat back up. All right. Anyone else?
Yep.
I'm going to likewise step back and get ready to slam the door, or let them get through and
This
slam
is-
the door.
Broken door though, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's just on its hinges. I mean, it's rotten, but it's not broken, right?
Well, it's sort of like it's askew. It doesn't look like it could be. If you really manhandled it, you could probably fit it back into the jam, but it's not as quickly. It's not as easy as just pulling the knob, and it'll suddenly shut tight.
Yeah, my objective is just to impede the progress of this undead thing.
That can be done.
Yeah, that's-
I don't know if that's possible.
Totally done. Yep.
but-
Yep. That can be done. Yep. Alfred,
So I'm confused. Was I throwing the torch or hitting it with it?
you told me you threw it.
Okay. All right, cool. So
You're-
our
you're out
only
of
light
order.
source, our only light source is in the room.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell
Right,
Bregan
right
to,
now.
yeah, if it's possible, when I slam this door closed, I'm gonna kind of hunch down. I'm gonna tell Bregan to poke at any available openings with her spear towards.
Okay. I'm gonna go on the other side of the door, John, and I'm gonna, grab my staff off the wall where it was leaning,
Mhm.
and I will assist in propping up the door to keep it from opening.
Yeah.
Using my staff as like a jam.
Okay. And Bregan is attempting to attack anything that's coming through. Is that the plan?
So, yeah, sorry. Just to illustrate what's in my mind's eye, if this is possible, John, I have slammed the door and I've sort of, I've crouched down. I'm putting my body to try to support this as a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
imagining that it's a busted up door, there's probably gaps in it, and
Yeah.
I want Bregan over top of me to sort of be jabbing in any holes.
I see. Gotcha.
Like you would, like I don't know, the Velociraptor, right? In
Sure.
the cage or something like that, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, yeah. Of course, you guys are waiting for Argus to backtrack first, and then you're going to slam the door.
Yeah.
All right. So, Argus, you see bits of the ceiling start to fall down a little bit, but not enough to hinder it. But you guys are able to get the jump on it and beat a hastily retreat. Willem slams the door as hard as he can. It does not fit perfectly in the jam. You guys are all huddled behind the door, and you're looking at Bregan, who is the only one who's sort of looking into the room, right? And she's looking through the gaps, and you see her eyes widen, and you see smoke billowing out of the seams of the door, and firelight kind of, and you can hear the moaning from beyond and crackling, one emaciated burning hand lunges out through the door and attempts to get Bregan, but Bregan of course has one initiative, so she can actually attack first. She has a short sword, you said?
No, she has a spear.
A spear. Okay, cool. So you can attack with a spear.
Let me look at.
She's like, oh shit, and she lunges forward. This is sort of in the upper left part, where it's sort of off, there's one hinge that isn't attached, so there's a gap there.
Okay, so get the dice tray out. These. 15. Oh, no, it's not. It's a 7 to hit.
7 is not going to do it. So she, not expecting the attack, the quick attack, she's goes wide a little bit, and it will attempt to get Bregan, but I'm going to give it a -4 to attack. What's Bregan's AC?
Bregan's AC is 12.
12. I actually have to look that one up. Let's see. Yeah, that's not going to do it. All right, so it just like flails a little bit. And then, Mike, why don't you roll me fire damage one more time?
Yeah. Take it. 3.
3 points. Okay.
Nice. Well done, Mike.
All right, it's just emitting this low moan. And you can kind of see, you can hear scraping as if like a claw has run down the entire length of the door.
Yeah.
And you just kind of, smoke is still billowing out. And firelight is basically, you can see around the edges of the door. I don't know how long you guys want to wait here, but there's no further attacks coming from that side.
Mike,
well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ted.
if you'll reach into my backpack, you'll find another torch, which you can light off of the mummy as it's climbing through the...
Well, so
Yeah.
here's the thing, right, guys? It's not just going to, John said that it's going to roll damage one more time. So it's not just going to stay on fire until it dies, right?
I'm going to have
We're
Reagan
gonna
poke it some more through the door if she can.
Why don't me and Willem hold the door and provide it almost like a shield wall while you two, Bregan and Argus, keep stabbing it through the door?
Yeah.
So you do not see a target right now. So I can't draw it really. I can't draw. So so here's like a normal door like this, right? Okay, the door is off of its hinges, and so that door is now canted to one side and is a little bit forward a little bit, so that there is a space up here actually.
Yeah.
Where
it would be possible to reach it and stab down.
Yeah, so she can't see anything right now. But if she looks in to stab down, she will present herself as a viable target if the creature is still able to attack. Do you understand?
Yep.
Why don't we just have Ted do that?
Yep. I'll do it.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're basically out of combat at this point because you have not received any threats,
Right.
for a few seconds now. So Argus, as you kind of look over with your spear in there, you can see no?
I don't have a spear. I have a sword.
Borrow Bregan's.
I can borrow
Oh.
Bregan's. Is this a situation where a spear is necessary to reach the target?
Yeah, you cannot slash with a sword
Okay.
because the
I'll
doors.
borrow the spear.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you grab her spear. You kind of look over, and you can see that the form of the mummified corpse thing is basically on the ground, just smoking and burning, just. But its eyes, and it's both of its hands are sort of like against the door. You know what I mean? So its head's like right up against the door. Its head is bent unnaturally back and is looking up at you with its mouth open, with its eyes like staring at you with hate. But it doesn't seem to be able to reach you, right? Like it's down on the ground, it's just scraping at the door, smoking. You can barely see
Let's lift the door off the hinges and have its head fall into the door, and then we drop the door on top of its neck, and then you just bash its head.
We all jump up and down on the door like trampoline and crush it.
Yeah. John Wick this fool. Come on.
First I stab it with the spear, John.
Okay, cool.
So, do we need to roll initiative again?
No, it can't really do anything.
Coup de grace.
So 5, and I'm guessing probably a -4 because of the gap thing.
Yeah, I'd definitely take a minus for something. Sorry, yeah, you're not.
You drop the spear.
Well, it's extremely smoky for one thing, so you can't see that much. There is the light in the room, is the torch. Back where you guys are in the quarter, it's basically pitch black except for the little bit of light that's coming through the doors, through the door itself.
Well, I mean,
the door is off its hinges. Let's just slam it down on the mummy.
That's what I said.
Yeah, let's just slam it down on the mummy, and then I'll stand on top, and y'all can just bash it.
man,
Whatever,
Gwillem,
man.
Let's
Let's have fun.
I think your idea is awesome, Gwillem. I think it's super good.
I mean,
really, you think
not everyone can really come to these creative conclusions, some of us have a little
Really?
more experience with gaming. You know, a few more years
Come on,
under our
guys.
belt.
A few more years under your belt.
Flames on my face. My
Burning.
hate.
All right.
Let me tell you a little bit about combat as war, Mike.
Oh my God! Oh, you've gone too far.
Boo.
All right.
All right. So I look at Gwillem and I say on the count of 3, whoop, and then boom, and then we drop it back down on the mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically exactly the way that you foresaw it happening. Like, so when you lift up the door, the head like flops to the ground, and then you're just immediately like right down on top of it. The way that the head sort of hits, it's basically like right down on the side of its head, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like not on its neck, so it just basically crushes its skull, just like, and nothing but like dust and bone just like out into the ground, like the eyes immediately extinguish.
Good thing we have our 2 spellcasters that never cast spells. Like, fight the bad guys for us. Hey, man.
You're right along with the spider that never hits
Alright.
me. So,
All right,
Gruesome, nice.
let's light a torch off the body.
Okay,
Let's open the door to let the smoke dissipate. Sorry.
yeah, and the fire itself, it seems to have mostly gone out on the body itself. I will say, roll. Alfred, you're the one that tossed the torch. Why don't you roll me a d4? If you roll a 1 under the d4, the torch is salvageable.
Nice.
Oh,
Did you get a 1?
Wow.
Nice. All right, cool.
Wow.
Okay, so a turn does go by because of combat, but the torch is salvageable, so you still have 3 more turns left on that torch.
all right. I'll tell you what. I'll go in because I've still got a lot of armor on. If this guy does turn out to still be hostile, it might be all right. I'll go in and retrieve the torch and look inside the coffer.
Okay. So you
We're now
see
the new mummy.
that where you assume that it's, well, you know, because of the way that it rose up out of the coffer, Argus, that where its head would have lain on a small, tiny little like rotten velvet pillow, like just enough to kind of cradle the head. Right now, lying on that pillow is a simple silver crown, just like a ring. But in the center of it, where where it would rest on the forehead, is a large smoky quartz crystal. Right in the center. Looks to be quite valuable, quite ancient in form.
this mummy had a CZ on its head.
Right on.
And with
Right.
your expert appraisal techniques that you guys have honed through months of adventuring, you would venture to guess that this would be about 1,200 GP worth.
Ooh.
I will log that here in the adventure log here. Okay. Nice. Well done, everybody. That was fun. Yep, we'll grab that, put that in the old backpack. And handshakes all around. Good job, everybody.
Or
That
so
was
so
hilarious.
blasé about these things now. It was well done. You guys
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay.
You want to check for any false bottom
Hidden compartments inside the coffer.
hidden compartments, all that jazz. Yeah, I'd like to pat it around.
It'll take a turn to do so.
Yep.
And
Okay.
search the body of the mummy.
Yeah.
Make sure it didn't have anything fun like rings
Anything
or.
that didn't burn. Yeah.
All right, so the body does not seem to have anything else on it.
No gold teeth.
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
And who is ever searching the
You're a
coffer
monster.
can roll a d6 for me.
I'll do it. At the 4.
Okay, so you does not appear to be anything else in the room. And a turn goes by.
Okay. All right. So let's move down to the next northern door.
Yep. Let's do it.
All right,
Okay, yeah, it's
moving carefully down. Yes, so you move down another 5 feet. Directly to the left is another door that appears to be a little bit ajar.
I'm gonna peek in.
Looking in, you see that it too appears to be made out of the same sandstone blocks as before, crumbling as well. Debris is strewn along here as well. However, this is not just a chamber. This is actually a corridor, 5 feet wide, And as you shine your torch through, Gwillem, you see that it goes down straight for about 15 feet before it opens up into a grand, what appears to be, let me make sure I get it right here, a natural cavern of sorts with a sandy beach of soft white sand.
Yup.
And fronting that beach, the beach itself appears to be about roughly about 10 feet from where that corridor opens up. So like there's like a 10-foot, wide strand of beach. It appears to be an underground lake of some sort.
Amazing.
And let me see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. And just at the edge of your torchlight, about 5 feet to the west along that strand, appears to be a collapsed bridge of some sort that's anchored with stone posts. The remnants of the bridge drifting in the current of the lake.
I'm not really following what you're describing, John.
It says there's a ruined bridge just to the east of our position at the doorway.
West.
East or west?
So like right here, Ted. There's like
Whoa! What? Sorry about that. Little tablet got carried away there, man. So here.
So right about here, yeah, exactly. There's like the remnants of a bridge, yeah. Okay.
And so this is I mean, I don't actually. Can we not see the edges? Is this a 15-foot wide room, or is it wider?
You can't tell because you guys are standing like right here.
Okay, gotcha.
You
So
know
this
what I mean?
is
So it's
kind
torch.
of what we can see
it's-
is right here.
Yes, correct. Like at the very edge of the torchlight, you can see this thing, and you can just see like the dark, like
And this is
shining
right
off
there.
the edge of the torchlight. This water, this crystal clear water, right?
This is,
Real Gustave Doré etchings vibes from this.
Yeah.
this is sand. Okay.
And now there is debris strewn along this corridor, the 15-foot corridor directly in front of you. Appears to be similar to the debris that you saw in the main east-west corridor itself. So there's chunks of fallen ceiling that have fallen down here, human bones, once again, shredded gray cloth,
For the
and
pouches?
Hmm?
Is it
Oh.
for the pouches?
oh, that's true actually. Like right where you're standing before you headed in there, the pouch is on the ground in the main corridor, right? Here
pick
as
it
well as that same sort of debris, but instead of the pouch, the odd thing that you see here, other than human bones, of course, is what appears to be a small piece of like a necklace, like some sort of jewelry that is sort of twinkling, in your torchlight, near where it opens up onto the sandy strand.
All right.
However, you are standing on that.
I'll pick up the pouch in the corridor first.
Okay, cool. So there is definitely something. It seems to be a singular item that is heavy in the bottom of that pouch. Relatively heavy. Like there's something in the pouch, a singular item.
I'll open the pouch and stick my face in and look. What's in there?
In there is a brass key. Drops out onto your hand.
Ooh, maybe for the door right there.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Doesn't seem like a trap at all. I have a quick question, John. Having just encountered a very effective fire solution to the undead, and watching my dear beloved patrons not assist me in turning the undead. Is it possible to take a torch with its, I guess, lacquered wrappings and use those wrappings on an arrow to make an arrow that you could light?
Flame arrow?
To make a flame arrow? Yeah, but you would have to, it would take you like a round to actually get it ready, and then you could fire it.
Wondering if we should make a couple for Bregan.
I would say like now a lot of that corpse burned, right? But I'll say that there's enough to make like 3
From the mummy?
from the mummy
wrappings?
mummy wrappings. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Maybe not right this second.
Yeah, I'm just thinking before we go into like any big room. It's only a round to make them, so
Yeah.
let's get a beat on things. But it would be nice
Well-
to have a ranged fire solution.
You would have to take like I would say it would take a turn to prep the arrows, right? Like to actually get them ready to go, and then in order to ignite them to get them ready in combat would take like a round.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Assuming you had a fire source available.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind taking a turn right now before we go too deep, if you guys don't mind, just to give Bregan 3 of those on the ready, and I'll stand with her with the torch.
Why don't you guys stay in the corridor and do that, keeping an eye on
your thing?
and Alfric and I can move into the sandy room.
Cool. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna take a turn doing that.
Before checking the other doors, or it's a big chamber.
I just want to get a beat on what's going on in this room real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, do it. All right, so we'll be
Far away
tracking-
from you? We can't get too far away from you without lighting another torch.
Yeah, that's the issue.
So,
Okay. So you guys move in there while Bregan starts to prepare the arrows. Into the corridor itself.
twinkling in the corridor.
Say again, Ted.
You said there was something twinkling in the corridor. We want to look at that first.
Yeah. Okay. So you move your way through the debris, and then right at where the sandy beach sort of unfolds before you take a good look at that, you see at your feet that there appears to be a necklace that is strangely only made out of tin, but the pendant hanging from it is actually a frog's head.
That's disturbing.
Yeah. It appears to. It's only tin. Doesn't seem to be a particular good make. You think you would probably only be able to fetch 3 GP unless it has value in some other form to someone specific. But
when you say a frog's head, it's an actual frog's head, not like a
no, it's like a piece of jewelry. But it's yeah. But it's been shaped out of tin. Like the whole thing is made out of tin.
I see.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll pick that up and put it in my pocket.
Argus, let's just go to the end of the hallway and not go onto the sand. Let's just
Yeah.
give it a little peek and see if we see like 2 lantern-like eyes glowing at us from a little island in the middle of the lake.
Exactly. So yeah, we're standing right there, John. If that helps.
Where the X is?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, don't forget if it's impermanent, you can just ping with your little thingy.
Yeah, I had already drawn it before.
That's fine. I'm just Okay, so
stand here.
so who's got the torch then? If Gwillem is staying behind with
I have
Bregan?
the torch.
Yeah, I think if Gwillem is working, dang it.
This is
Like
the whole
right
thing.
here.
The light isn't extending any further.
Wait, question,
Well-
John. That torch is about to extinguish anyway, right?
No, it's got 2 more turns.
Oh,
Fine, just light another one, Ted.
yeah. I'm just gonna light another one,
You're gonna let it turn.
and that's
Okay.
it for torches in my pack.
1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
I have a whole set of 5 on mine, so we're good.
Okay. Torch. Okay, cool. All right. So you open up another one. The beach itself opens up before you. So soft white sand as your boots sink into it. You can see that it is it's a very rough natural cavern, Ted, so just be aware. That the strand itself appears to be about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, about 40 feet west to east. All right.
Jeez.
It gently curves in a U, like a U-shaped fashion, sort of like horseshoe-like. I don't know how to describe it really.
Something
Like a smile.
like that.
Yeah, basically like that. Yep, you basically got it. Yep.
Oh, too big.
And then the river sort of bends along that same exact sort of vector.
River or lake?
Lake. I'm sorry, lake. That is actually key. So it is what appears to be like sparkling, cool, clear water, but that water is still. It is not a rushing river, which you also know is down on this level, right?
Oh, I see.
The wall.
Yeah, like you're underground though, right, John?
Yeah.
Okay, so
What
it's
did I
not
say?
sparkling. You said sparkling clear water. I was like, wait, are we outside?
Well, it is. Yeah, I mean it's it's clear. It's like I don't know.
Something like that. Huh?
It's like normal water is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you got it. Now the walls, the walls to your left and right
Yeah.
of this natural cavern here are made out of rough stone, but they are completely coated with some sort of black fungus that's coating the walls.
On inhale.
And then I have to be careful with what I'm describing because it's like all about torchlight here. So just give me a second. Yeah. Okay. You can see that. Hold on a second. Now, did they give me the wrong description here? I want to check. All right, I misspoke. So this is a lake of sorts, and it's because of what you see across in the midst of it. But it is technically it does have a current, so it is actually part of the river. So I misspoke there. So there is a current. It is running from west to east. And what you see across the 10-foot width of this river, okay, is an island that is raised up out of the water.
I called it.
And but strangely enough, this island actually has 5-foot high stone sides that rise up out of the water. So there is no beach on the island itself, right? Like it just kind of juts right up out of the water.
And how big is it?
It's quite wide.
That's a stronghold.
You can see, first of all, that directly across there is the remnants of the broken bridge on the other side, where you would think it would basically be.
Like right here.
Yep. Well, 10 feet though.
Oh, there's a 10-foot gap?
The river's 10 feet wide, basically.
Oh, so the bridge is more broken than I am drawing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, Ted. Yeah, yeah. You got the dimensions right. Your just bridge is a little bit off, but that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The river is 10 feet wide.
Right. So we've got a little bit of bridge right here.
The island is basically like egg-shaped, oblong from east to west, and it appears to be about 35 feet wide at its widest. Okay, but it's sort of like ovoid in shape generally. So it's about 35 feet wide and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'll just give it to you, even though you can't quite see the other side of it. It appears to be about 25 feet north to south at its widest, once again.
Wow.
Is there? So it looks like a constructed wall around the island.
It does, yes.
And does the bridge lead to like an opening in that wall?
It looks like it's actually at the top of the wall, so it only rises about 5 feet up. So it looks like the bridge itself actually would have sloped downwards towards the beach, over the water. You know what I mean? At one,
right.
not
And on the far side by the island, it leads to the top of the wall.
yeah,
Is
That's
it a
what the
wall,
doorway.
correct.
or is it an embankment
He said a wall, dude.
It's like a wall, like a 5-foot wall.
with two sides, not like just a built-up embankment with level dirt at the top of it?
Yes, I'll double check on that, but just let me check.
See, this is super interesting. This has got to be some sort of like temple or stronghold or
Yeah,
something
I mean,
like
it's
that.
not exact. It's not like a perfect seam, Ted, but it is generally like it goes straight up 5 feet, made out of carved stone, and then it basically it's basically like a lip, and it just there's something up on top there that you can't quite make out.
Does it look like there's some sort of building or anything like that on it past the wall?
Let's see where you're standing. Let's see.
Oh, rock, dude. Listen.
Yeah,
Guess what?
you do see something over there. There appears to be I mean, it is right at the edge of their torchlight, but right in the center of that island, you think you see, and the island, I guess, sort of raises up like a little bit, like there's a slight mound across the top of it, right? So at the very height, at the middle of the island, there appears to be 3 stone coffers.
Oh,
The
coffers, not buildings.
Coffers, yeah, and the middle one appears to be slightly larger than the other one.
They were keeping something in, baby.
All right.
Would you say that's an accurate cross-section of what you're describing?
What are the?
Oh, on the left. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but
So,
if these are
sand
coffers at the
here.
top, then they're like a little bit. They're more towards the center of the thing, you know. But yeah,
right, but then the bridge goes up. It's broken here, continues up to here. And
Yeah.
the
that's pretty much
there's
it.
like a flat top of the wall, and so then the river is
Correct.
like.
That's correct. Yeah. But remember, it's only 5 feet, so like the slope is not that big.
I'm not trying to draw this to scale.
No, I know. I just want to make sure that unit like this is not like a huge, architectural
inspect
achievement.
the bridge and try and determine what caused it to fall down?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you guys looked at the ceiling?
No, that was my next question,
Somebody
actually.
praying on you from above.
Yeah.
So the bridge itself, you can't quite tell. It looks like it's wooden planks basically, right, with rope that are tied to anchored stone posts, and the planks themselves looks like the rope has been shorn, and some of the planks are actually like drifting in the current, like they're just sort of, you know what I mean, like they're just sort of like being tugged by the current loosely, and the same thing with the other remnants on the other side. But it's impossible to tell like what exactly destroyed it because those remnants are sort of like in the water. You know what I mean?
Right.
The cavern itself is about 15 feet high, just so you guys know.
So
Within torchlight.
Within torchlight, yeah, you can actually see the cavern itself. Now you're back into like another natural cavern, right? This is no longer constructed like you were before. At this point, after exploring this area, Bregan has her arrows ready, so a turn goes by, and she can join you again, and so can Willem.
okay. So the ceiling, we can see the ceiling.
You can see the ceiling, yeah, 15 feet high.
And it's high enough that it's got plenty of clearance over the coffers or whatever they are.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And what we don't know is what's beyond our little island, but we should be able to see what's to the left and the right. Like, where does this river coming from and going to? Is there like an opening in the...
Yeah, so it does appear to continue on past the both to the east and the west. Once again, the current is flowing from the west to the east.
Right.
But there is no other point of purchase along it, right? So like when you're looking at your torchlight, it basically it's just like water that kind of goes off into the darkness, you know what I mean?
Right. And John, if I were to go over like right here
Yeah.
with the torch,
Yeah.
what would I see up here? Would I see like something like this, you know, that there's water on both sides of the island? If I'm standing right at the farthest corner, would I see like a tunnel here? And
Let me get a gander here. Like my issue was that the map, like right where you're looking, is exactly where the page division is. So I needed to switch to a 2-page spread to look at it.
right.
So let's see, you're 30 feet. All right, yeah. So at that edge, you can actually see a couple of interesting things. It's obvious that the river basically widens out and then circles the island, right? Obviously, right? So, but then it narrows back down to 10 feet as it continues to the west, right? But that's where the water is coming from. Now, right where it widens, on the northern section there,
Okay.
you see something interesting.
Ooh.
Let me switch back to my normal view here so I can see.
My retirement fund.
Because I am old. There appears to be another strand of beach there, and there is looks like a beached rowing boat is actually up, like half in the water, but been dragged up onto the sand. Okay, directly to the east of it, of that boat, appears to be an intact wooden bridge that spans between that strand of beach and the island. Okay.
You think we could grappling hook the boat and drag it back over?
I think it's worth trying.
So that boat head is sort of like half in the water directly below that bridge. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Not a huge deal, but...
So it actually makes it easier.
I can't say this with absolute certainty, but the impression I'm getting is that probably one contiguous river. Mike and I did not encounter this room.
No, we didn't get this far.
Which means...
But I bet they're connected.
I think the river is, because if we had continued down the river, I think it would have come here. But that means that the only access point that we are aware of for the cavern where we heard the crying voice is halfway here, basically, or whatever, right? Like,
yeah, it's way off to
up on the river float. because there wasn't another like piece of infrastructure leading to that entry piece. But it might be on the other side. But yeah, I don't know, just something to keep in mind. There's some other large cavern.
Yeah.
Should we
Okay.
take a pee break?
Sure. You can absolutely take a break.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We will see you in just a short minute. And we're back. You can see that we have spent our time wisely here. Got some artists in the group.
Portrait, very accurate.
It's actually been 2 weeks. I've actually commissioned professional artists. They've come in and done some work for me. At much expense to myself. My wallet's much lighter. But as you can see, it's paid off marvelously with these accurate representations of our characters, Alfric, Gwillem, and Argus. I'll let the audience...
Who's who?
Yeah, exactly. Who's who.
All right.
But,
So
okay.
yeah, I like your idea, Gwillem. We rather than going full hog onto trying to get onto this island, let's go check what's behind us.
Let's do it.
Right. Okay. So the fungi, actually, I should say, behind you here. Yeah. On the walls themselves is black, black fungus. They're actually like long branching fronds. They actually look sort of like a cross between like ferns and seaweed, sort of like antlers almost, right? And they grow up to almost like 2 feet long at some points, and they're jet black and glistening, and they're growing on the walls in clusters.
Gross.
Right, and when you kind of look at them closely, you see that they appear to be coated with some sort of slime, is where the glistening is coming from, with crystalline, scaly patches on them as well. They're quite disgusting looking. Quite large, too, as I could say. Like, some of them are actually reaching like 2 feet long.
Like spikes coming out.
Anything you want to do with them? No spikes, but they're like antlers, right?
Are there like you said there was detritus in the hallway, bones, stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and there was that tin necklace.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab like a longish bone, a femur, a rib, something that I can find like that.
Okay, you can easily find anything that you
I'm
would
gonna
like.
hold my breath. I'm gonna extend that femur as far out as I possibly can, and I'm gonna tickle one of the fronds.
Okay, it moves and jiggles a little bit, but does not emit any spores or anything like that.
Does it leave slime on the bone?
A little bit, yeah. Doesn't like drip off or anything like that, but it coats it with like some sort of like glistening substance.
I'm going to investigate the slime.
Okay.
Smell it. Look at it.
So the slime itself is clear, and it does not appear to have any sort of smell to it. It appears that the color of the fungi is natural, in the meat of it itself, right? Like not in the
Right.
It's not the slime itself that is black. The slime appears to be giving it its glistening appearance when it's in your torchlight.
Right.
Okay. So,
Avoid.
huh?
Avoid.
Yeah.
Do we want to investigate this anymore, or should we just move on?
I say we.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ted.
Nope.
I want to take a little piece of jerky from my dried rations, which is made out of meat, like me.
Mm-hmm.
Organic, right? Okay.
And I want to try and tickle the frond with that beef jerky.
Here you go, fungi.
That's nasty, dude.
Nothing happens. Just a little bit of slime coats your meat.
Right.
Ew.
So does the slime seem to be interacting at all with my meat?
Oh my god.
John, I think you found the title to this week's episode.
No.
Frond tickling with my meat.
The frond is repulsed by your meat.
Yes.
We all do that.
I want to take a little taste of the slime.
Oh,
You want to
really?
taste a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, roll me a d6.
You have the scarlet rot. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
A 6.
Yes.
Either really good or really bad.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. So, yeah, you take a little taste and you're like, I can't see. I'm blind. And a blindness washes over your eyes and you literally cannot see.
That's awesome.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're leaving. See you later. You're a wizard, right? You got magic, I think, for this sort of scenario.
David, you seem to be not realizing that we just discovered a toxin that makes people blind.
I love it.
You
think we
should rub some arrows and shit in there.
I totally agree.
First of all, a turn goes by, and Gwillem, your torch goes out, but Argus's is still lit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do not have any glassware to capture some slime with, although I believe Matt had at some point. But we should definitely keep that in mind. I agree.
I actually do have a bottle. It's still full of whiskey.
Well, you can rectify that pretty quick.
Yeah, because that's definitely what we need: is a drunk fighter and a blind wizard. I don't know what else I have that I could put in, but a brigand could just rub arrows in it, and
I mean, I don't think
wait,
it's a bad idea.
I know. How many tinder boxes among the three of us or four of us do we have?
I have
I
one.
have one.
I've got one. Do you got one, Gwillem?
We all have one.
Somebody empty out their tinder box and you've got a box. You can fill it up with frond. Right?
I'll do it. Wait, I'm
Yeah.
blind. I can't. I volunteer my tinderbox to somebody.
All right. I'll empty his tinder box out,
Uh-huh.
and we'll, take a knife and snip off some of the frond tips into the box and then close it
I'm
up. And
confused if it's the slime or the frond that blinded.
he licked the slime.
The slime on the frond.
Okay, it's an excretion of the frond.
Appears to be, yes.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
I mean, I guess I could try and scrape it with the knife, but I was just going to just cut off a bunch of chunks into the
Yeah,
box.
cut up
I
some
think
and put
that's
in there.
smart because it might need to stay fresh.
All right, so are you taking Alfric's tinderbox then? Are you keeping it?
Yes. I
Well, I'm
donate.
going to give it back to him so he can carry it.
Okay, so Alfric,
No. Okay.
No, I'm gonna take this and give it to Bregan and say,
Oh,
you
okay.
wanted her to use it, right? I don't know.
I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
care what he does or not. I think we've.
I'm putting it on her inventory, so we don't.
that's what I need to know. So Alfric, your load is lightened if it had encumbrance value, so you need to mark off the tinderbox. And then Gwillem, on Bregan's things, don't say it's a tinderbox because there is nothing in that allows you to light anything. So just call it like a miniature, a box with fronds in it. Same encumbrance value though, which I assume is 1.
Yeah.
Not. Let's see. That's a fact item.
All right.
Okay.
Alfred, put your hand on my shoulder here and just follow behind me.
All right. Sounds good.
Argus, as you were about to, you guys were planning on going back down the corridor. Is that correct? Yeah. So when you're about to go back down the corridor, out of the corner of your eye, along the eastern side of the Strand, near where the Strand meets the river up there,
Okay.
you think it's just like, I don't know, your peripheral vision or a trick of the light or something like that, but it makes you do a double take and you see it again. There's some sort of almost 2-dimensional humanoid shape that appears to be made out of like shifting rainbow colors that kind of fade from like bright into dim, and it's only when it kind of goes into its bright shape and it kind of glides over the water that you can actually see that it's actually humanoid in shape, and you see it pass ghost-like over the island itself and then disappear over the top of like the knoll on top, right? But it's very, very strange. It's like a rainbow colored ghost, but like a 2-dimensional cutout, right? Like it doesn't have any.
This might do.
Oh no, definitely was prismatic in color and nature.
Okay, new plan. I think this is either the Prismist or something the Prismist is doing. I will explain what I've just seen to the blind wizard and see what the blind wizard thinks.
The blind wizard thinks nothing.
Blind wizard
Many
pissed.
magical effects could occur in such a.
It's a study. Okay.
Alfred, you have not heard that, like, the high-ranking members of the Prismists in the Institute, had could do something like this. You have no idea. Just
Right. Okay.
beyond your ken, unfortunately.
So can we go back and get that door and use it to bridge the gap on the bridge? Would it be big enough?
The door.
that we collapsed them onto the mummy? We carried it in here.
No, that was a 7 foot. Right, like the caverns here are 7 feet tall, so it's probably a little bit smaller than that, and the span width is 10 feet.
But you said that it wasn't fully broken, or is it effectively fully broken?
Well, it does no, I guess I could kind of buy that. It is like a couple pieces are actually extending from either end out into the water.
I mean, it's possible that we could try to swim tethered and then rope a line across.
Or we could try this door and lay it down on the bridge and see if it works.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I'll say this: like you could visualize in your head the door would definitely be able to fit across the remnants of the bridge, but there would be a slight chance that the whole thing would sort of collapse underneath you when you attempted to cross. But I would make it minimal.
We use that in a rope so that you don't have to put all your weight on the bridge, right?
Well, only if we could tether the rope at both ends. I'm not sure how we would do that.
It might just be that we tie the rope to one person, he crosses,
Then we can tether the
and
rope
then he
at both.
tethers it, and then everyone can cross more safely.
Yeah.
Before we do that, do we want to check out the small chamber, the hallway?
No.
Oh yeah, I should say as you back when you were actually going down the east-west passageway, right? Like as your torch light, it showed 2 more doors on the northern side at those regular intervals, right? And actually,
Here. And here.
correct, yeah. And then when you were at the door that led towards the sandy beach, the torchlight would have shown you the end of this corridor, at least from what you can tell, lies 5 feet beyond that last door.
Like so?
Correct.
Okay.
So we've got a few more small sarcophagi rooms.
Potentially,
That
yeah.
have
One-
magic crowns in them, but
One door that was like a really stout door.
Oh, Ted,
Yeah.
you drew 1 too many doors. There's actually only 2 more beyond the door that you were at. You drew 3.
and then there's the southerly door, which was sturdy, but the key we have might open it.
Correct.
That was iron banded.
Correct. Yeah.
So
like
we don't have to do that. I'm just imagining if we get into some giant mummified trifecta on this platform and we flee and fall into the river and end up somewhere. Who knows
And-
where?
right.
It may
There's
be
no-
easier. Go ahead.
There's
You got it, Ted. That's good.
There's no door here, is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. There's only the one door that you can see that appears to be a much more sturdy iron banded door,
Yeah,
and
okay.
you have it marked correctly.
That one.
All right, Brecken and I are going to go get the door and haul it back, and we're going to slide it out over this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grabbing it, bringing it all the way back is going to take a turn.
While they're doing that, can I also inspect to see if there's a keyhole in the sturdy southerly door?
You want to investigate that door? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. If that's what you want to do. So it's a solid dark.
The corner and try.
Solid dark wood, cast iron bands. It has a pull bar, like a pull handle, but there's no keyhole.
Can I listen at it?
Certainly, yep. Let me see if you hear anything. You hear nothing.
All right. Interesting. And the pull bar's on my side, so it's barring from inside. You're saying, like, it's blocked from my side, so I would be preventing someone on the other side from coming in. Is that
You-
what you're saying?
There's like a pull handle, so it appears that it opens outward, but there's no keyhole. If you were looking for,
Okay, I thought
for
you were
your
saying there was like
a bar, no, there's no bar.
a bar.
Yeah, but there are iron. The doors itself is reinforced with iron bands in order to strengthen it, but it's not actually.
Right.
Cool.
You have not touched the door. You've only listened to it.
That's an interesting prompt.
Listened at it.
You have not touched the door. I don't want to touch the door.
No, exactly. I don't assume anything.
All right. I'm gonna follow them back to the bridge making process.
Okay, cool. You can just hustle back there in the same turn as they're moving it backwards. You lay it across. It just, as you had guessed, Argus, it lays, right at the edge of the solid parts of those bridges, right, at a slight slope, but it's sort of like any sort of like, if the weight is not right or any sort of jostling at all, it's going to cause it to slip on one end or the other, right?
Can we frap it with some of our rope? Can we like wrap the doors to make it more stable, and then use some of that rope to connect it to the debris on our side?
So there's stone posts that are definitely, well into those are as stable as it's going to get, right? They're good that are good anchor posts or anchor points, but unless you tell me, but to me, like I'm picturing the door in my head. I don't see any places where you could anchor anything to the door.
What if I took some of the iron spikes we got from Bethmilda and sort of nailed the door to the remnants of the bridge?
Okay.
Or like wedged it somehow so that it wouldn't shift.
Or use the pythons to tie the rope to the door and then to the stone pillars.
One.
Okay. I'll buy that. Take a turn to get all that shit done.
All right.
Go ahead, David.
I don't want to. Feel free to ignore me. Abundance of caution. If we nail the board down to make this so sturdy that it will be hard to remove, and we have to run, we lose the opportunity of kicking this away for whatever's chasing us.
That is true.
Just a thought.
Right. That's why I was going to say tie the rope to the pythons. The pythons are on the door. Then we can still cut the rope if we need to.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You're not actually nailing it to the posts.
Yeah,
I can visualize it.
We need to do a speed retreat.
Okay.
We can just take it away.
Cool. I dig
It'll
it.
be a little slower, but yeah, I get it.
That takes
okay.
That takes a turn.
All right.
But you makeshift this thing. It's also very noisy when you do this. You do not see anything
weird.
react untoward that you can see as you work with your pythons and stuff like that. Do you have, by the way, like, like something to hammer this shit in with? Do you have like a hammer? Does anyone have a hammer?
I have a mace. I assume there was not a hammer with the.
No. I don't want to get too pedantic, but I just mean like if you're putting pythons into wood, you're definitely it's not a. But I think a mace could work in a pinch. I think, so that's fine. Okay,
Right.
so
Am I still blind?
you are still blind. Yeah, so you're giving moral support and giving ideas, which is what you're there for, really, as a wizard.
I'm not really moral
I mean,
support.
so nothing has really changed about the makeup of the group.
Says the guy who killed the mummy, by the way.
Yeah, let's not forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, still blind. And
Says the guy who licked the frond.
all right, so you reinforce it. So this is what I was going to say is like if you had left it just sort of like laying across, freestanding across the remnants, that I would have made you roll a d6 and a 2 and 6 chance of the door falling in. Reinforcing it reduces this to a 1 and 6. Okay. So this will.
First.
I'm going to.
Not should go first.
I don't want to have each person roll it, so I'm just going to say that it would occur if the first person can make it across and verify that it's stable, then they can usher the other people across with no problem. So it's only the first person that will have the risk.
All right, David, you haven't rolled yet.
Yeah.
You roll.
Yeah, I'll put a rope around your
4.
waist.
That's a 4.
Okay, great.
Cool. William's like, no problem, I got it. All right. And your little makeshift contraption actually works, and you're able to scoot across onto this strange little mini fortress in the middle of this dark river. Right. Okay. The dimensions are, as I said, a slight rise here. The cavern itself actually looks like it's actually gotten like it actually domed over like the island a little bit. So it's actually 20 feet high here, but that's basically like the same distance from the ground to the top. Now that you're a little bit higher out of the water, you know what I mean. And yes, indeed. Let's see. We have some loft. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 3 stone coffers, one that's a little bit larger in the center. The moment that Gwillem sets foot on to the island itself, the moment that it happens, the the coffers themselves actually like they slowly open, and you see 3 creatures rise up out of them. The ones on
I cut the rope and pull the dredge back right now. That's sorry, Gwillem.
Well, it's all you.
I was half seriously considering sprinting to the boat, so we could have the boat.
So
Yeah, not a bad. Yeah.
well, this isn't like a very quick thing, but let me as you're sort of looking in horror as this thing opens up, you do have time to react and determine what to do. But coming out of the 2 coffers to the side, the smaller coffers are 2 bloated humanoid corpses that rise up out of, and their flesh has been blackened, completely blackened. So it's like just black, charred, bloated corpses rising up out of these coffers. Their eye sockets are gone. There's nothing in their eyes, but they're oozing a purple slime that is dripping down, pus-like down their cheeks. And they pull from their sides, from their bloated sides, long black blades of like an ancient make. And they hiss at you like in a sibilant way, like almost like snakes themselves, as they look at you with cold hatred, the ooze dripping down their face. However, in the center, coming out of the larger one, is another bloated corpse. This one with pallid flesh, though, like pale flesh. And you can see that this was obviously in life it would have been female. It has ornate, arcane robes with what you can tell was some sort of ancient, what you would probably assume to be some form of Drunic script upon the robes themselves. But this creature has a pallid flesh, noseless, like just a nose cavity that looks into like, a dark cavity where the nose once was. But hideous is that there is 3-eyed, 2 normal eyes, but there's 1 eye that has been embedded in the top of its forehead. The human eyes on either side are blind, like they're milky white, but the eye in the center is large and red, like a Sauron sort of eye, like right in the middle of its head. And right. She appears to be oozing fluorescent green ooze coming from numerous pustules and buboes that cover her flesh. And she is draped with gold jewelry on her arms and her neck.
Argus will immediately turns to Alfric and says, "Alfric, don't look. It's too hideous to look upon."
Yeah.
What do you see?
Yeah, Alfric, all you hear is the stone like the lids moving, like the stone against stone, and a sharp intake of breath as Gwillem sees what he sees.
So, a couple thoughts. Work this out with me, John, and Ted.
Yep.
I have 50 feet of rope attached to my waist.
You do.
You saw a functioning boat on the other side of this river, which is like
to your left.
35 odd feet the other shore.
From where you are, I would be guessing less than that even. 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, yeah, maybe 35 feet to go over the bridge and get into the boat, yeah.
I would like to sprint for the boat and have you haul me back with the boat.
Yeah. I have an idea. Just real quick, hear me out.
Yep.
You have a rope tied around you. Ted, you have the other end of the rope. Just run in a circle around the 3 of them. Pull them all into the middle.
It's perfect. It's genius.
They'll fall over and they'll explode.
Snow speeder style.
I love it. I love it. This is a bit of a silly idea, but I do think it'd be worth trying to get that boat, Ted. Yeah? Now, John, my question for you is, you described they're exiting this, but I don't imagine I would have stood there watching them exit for a minute and a half, right? So.
Well, they don't take that long, but yeah.
I know, but you know what I mean? Like, you know. Point being is I'm sprinting the minute the top of these doors start to move.
Understood.
Once I see what comes out, right? Because I already know there's a zombie in them.
Okay.
Would that give me sufficient time to get like a lead?
Yeah. You're going towards the bridge.
My plan is to run straight to this boat, jump in it, and hand over hand pull myself with Ted on the other shore with the boat to like here, basically.
Where?
That makes sense. I've marked
Oh.
it with yellow. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah.
I would say, in fact, what we'll probably do is hand the rope to Bregan.
Yeah.
Now, Bregan haul you in.
Yeah.
And I will
Pull the bridge.
pull the bridge back, chop what we tied it with, and haul it back. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so yeah, you sprint across, and as you're making your way across, that's when the center figure, the woman, like rises out, and she, the head turns towards you. She blindly looks at you, but the red eye actually focuses on you. And as you sprint over the bridge to the other side, she says, "Youngling, worshipper of the young god, you have spelled your own doom by setting foot upon this island."
And I say over my shoulder, light-footed brother Gwillem can never be caught by the likes of your decrepit gods.
"I promise you eternal damnation in the ooze, elves." She says, "Get them, my pretties." And like these, the black corpses start to stalk towards where you are. By this time, you're in the boat.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And so you're going to start to haul yourself backwards on your own rope that you're attached to back towards the bridge.
Yeah, because I didn't know if there would be oars in the boat, so just to be safe, I'm gonna, yeah. I mean, if there are oars, that's great too, but...
Okay.
I'm very intrigued.
Bregan is on one side pulling, and I'm on the other,
Yeah.
just to make it happen quick.
I'm very intrigued by this, the ooze hells. I want to know more
yeah.
about the ooze.
Yes.
But later, yeah, I'm pulling the bridge back.
Generally,
John.
you go to an urgent care when you get the ooze hells.
You're pulling, okay, so... Okay, so wait, well, who's got the other end of the rope?
Bregan
Bregan.
has one end of the rope.
Okay. And she's on the sandy beach,
in her
right?
hands. She's on the beach.
Okay.
I'm tied to the other end, but
Gotcha.
not that it's necessary, but we're both pulling to shorten it, so it's extra fast. It's not just Bregan.
I understand.
pulling one
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
We're cinching from both ends. So
Gotcha.
it's like really,
Yeah, and Argus is then also pulling the bridge, the door out, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so, all right. You could definitely do your thing because they can't get to you. What I am going to do is I want to... Let's see. I'm just looking at the timing of it, whether or not it's worth it to roll initiative, because they are definitely going to attempt to get across that makeshift bridge towards you. As they're sort of like following you as you're making your quick little journey on your boat. You know what I mean? But Argus at the same time is working to get... the way that you have it, all it would take would be to snip the rope, right?
Yeah, I was thinking I would just slash with the sword and then start hauling the door towards me.
Okay, if you're going to do that, if you're not going to try to rip out the pythons, then that's not a problem. So, yeah, so you slash the rope. I'm going to say that rope is basically like useless now. And then you're going to yank the door outwards. So they don't rush, right? They're kind of slow moving sort of creatures as they've got time, but they. Sort of like the Nazgul at the Buckleberry Ferry, right? Like they kind of get towards the edge of that thing and they kind of just balefully look at you, weeping pustule eyes and the glowing center red eye. Right at the edge of your torchlight, as you all safely collect yourselves, breathing heavily on the back at the sandy white beach, you can just see that red eye like pulsing in the dark.
Love it.
And then it seems, then it winks out of existence.
Well, that's even creepier. Okay. So much for following the Reflecto figure 2D creature thing we saw.
Guys, we got a boat.
You do have a boat.
Win.
You do have a boat.
We got a boat, baby.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the ooze hells.
John,
great.
just out of curiosity. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, it's great we've got a boat. Are you prepared to try and work upriver?
Well, this is what I was going to ask. Are there oars? And if there are oars, do I get a sense that one could... Is the current so strong that we could not row upstream? Or is it... If we had a couple of people on oars, we could make slow progress?
Two things. It does have oars. I'll answer that real quick. I need to retro real quick. This is important. When you ran across that bridge, you had to run across the bridge and then get onto the beach real quick and then get onto the boat. But something did happen actually when you stepped onto the sand off that bridge on the northern side.
Okay.
You notice that that this beach is a little bit different than the one that you were on before, and that is soft white sand, but scattered amongst it are actually like 6-inch large chunks of quartz crystals that are dotted around in the sand, which actually reflect off of the light a little bit. And whenever you step onto the sand, all those crystals that are sort of scattered randomly throughout the sand flare with a bright light the moment that you step onto the sand.
Interesting.
Okay, nothing harmful seems to happen because of it, and you're more focused on like the boat. But I just want to make that you aware of
With that light, granted, I wouldn't be like inspecting around. I'm really going with the quickness. But do I see anything immediately on this beach now that it's lit up? That would be.
Actually, make me a save versus spells.
Uh-oh.
And you can use your magic bonus for this, your wisdom bonus.
Okay, save versus spells. Cool.
While he's doing that, John, did that light flare up reveal the remainder of the cavern to us?
This is actually dependent upon what he rolls here.
I rolled
Okay.
a 13, and my save versus spells is 15.
So you failed. Okay. So strangely enough, you only kind of remember this now that you're safely back on the beach after the panic of the moment stopped. That you remember that Argus said that whenever he investigated there and the torchlight was reached across, that he noticed some sort of faint prismatic light coming from a passageway to the west. Whenever you stepped on that sand and you were and the light flared and you moved right to the boat, you didn't see any sign of a passageway at all. No indication. It seemed to be just like a normal shut off, like like there's a strand of beach and there's nothing else, like no other egress anywhere. All right. Anyways, and then you were asking about the current, right? Let me check the river rules here. Yes, the current is quite strong. So moving upstream will actually require a strength check each round that you attempt to move in order to move to grow upstream. If you want to go with the current, you would move 30 feet per round.
Cool.
Per round,
All right.
so that's pretty quick. Yeah.
Fast.
So this we're reaching near the end. This actually seems to be maybe like a decent place to stop. Where did
Yeah.
do we want to kind of figure out the remaining minutes, just like what are your plans are, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm gonna beach this boat. If we need to make a hasty down the river, we can get back in it, I suppose. But
Yeah, pulling it well up the beach is good.
I'm gonna say a turn goes by, by the way.
I think basically we've got two choices. We go back to the doorway hallway.
Well, you don't want to fight these guys?
what?
Not so much. Or we try and let's on the assumption that they might be trapped on the island to some extent.
Yeah.
We could conceivably go back to the beach where you got the boat.
Yeah.
And explore that side. Speaking of which, John, you didn't answer the question, which was when there was a flare up of light, was I able to make out the remainder of the beach and cavern? Was it enough light to do that?
I'm gonna say no, not in the panic of the moment.
Fine.
Right, like it was just like a bite, like poof,
Yep.
Yeah.
So we could go back to that north beach. I could look for the door that I saw that Gwillem doesn't see. That's kind of weird, right? I don't think heading upriver makes any sense right now. And I have to say, I suspect
agree.
downriver is just death.
And a strength check each round, and then if we go downriver, we're not going to be able to come back. So
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
well, I mean, we might be able to strength check with 2 people on oars. I mean, I don't know. I guess we have to parse the rules on that. My question would be, who put the boat here? We know there are waterfalls in the river that Mike and I traversed, which a boat would not survive, presumably. So I'm wondering from where and to where this boat is used to traverse, right? Unless it's like really banged up and it looks like it's gone over a waterfall.
Well, now there's a good question. What's condition is the boat in, John? Is it look recently used?
No,
Is
it does
in good
not.
shape?
It looks very, very old. It is not in any danger of, disintegrating or springing a leak or anything like that. So it's still solid and all that kind of stuff. But it's
Right.
been down here for some time,
Yeah.
like a long, long
Right.
time.
But like, for example, Gwillem probably didn't notice, but when he jumped in the boat, did he see Prismist footsteps walking in the sand? Or like,
Not that you could tell. Once again, you were under duress, so that you could not take in a lot of information.
because what I'm thinking here is this boat might have been here, but why is it on the other side?
Yeah.
Rather than this side, right? Meaning that whoever took it over there, still there, dead or alive.
I see.
That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
I kind of want to go over there. I gotta say.
I don't.
Yeah.
I do too, but these guys on the island are scary as hell, and there is a functional bridge from the island to that shore.
I bet they can't cross.
So, that's a pretty big bet to take, though, dude.
I know
What are
it.
they doing? Did they disappear? Did they totally evaporated the minute we?
They didn't
they
evaporate. They seem to have retreated from your torchlight, so like you couldn't see
Backed up
them.
into the darkness to
Yeah.
look at their winky red eye.
Yeah. Okay, so we can decide next time. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
You still got a lot of options. Just so you know your resource sort of thing here. You got one more turn left on Argus's torch, and Elfric is still blind.
Yeah.
So be aware. How many torches do you guys have left?
I have three.
3?
I have 5.
Oh, you guys got plenty. Okay, I thought you were running low. All right, that's fine. Okay, cool. Not a problem at all. All right, so we'll figure it out next time whether or not they assault this island or try to move downriver or move all the way back and search for more doors or something like that.
Awesome.
Lots of good stuff, though. All right, guys. Thanks again. Another awesome session in the Incandescent Grotto.
Thanks,
So,
man.
everyone, thank you so much again for watching. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. And we'll do some more dungeon crawling next time. So, everyone have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Have a great night. Bye.
Later.
Bye.